ideally, just like any other country, I mean, when America had their own election for 2 years ago, everybody was apprehensive. When Ghana had theirs a few weeks ago, a few people that had investments in Kenya, they were apprehensive as well. So typically, what happens is when you are, having an election year or pre-election year, you begin to see a lot of apprehension, and people carefully put their money into safe assets or they put their money into cash. The reason why this election is very important is because I think that to some degree, Nigeria is actually transiting to a more sophisticated election year. And what do I mean by that? I think we're beginning to see more participation, and the electioneering is also taking a shape that we've not seen before. A bit of technology is being deployed to ensure that we see a free and fair election. So that gives some investors some sort of comforts that we could see a free and fair election, because that is also very important. You don't want an election that is being marred by violence. So you need to ensure that the communications going out not only to the locals but to the foreign investors is we are going to conduct this election in a very free and fair manner. However, having said foreign investors moving out of the country, we also begin to see that your currency would suffer. In 2018, we experienced the same thing. Unfortunately for us here, in 2022, what has happened is, because of the global situation with the fact that capital is scarce and expensive, we've not seen significant foreign direct investment into the country. If you look at the two traditional asset classes, that is the fixed income market and the equities market, the fixed income market particularly would not see significant participation coming from foreign investors. So you would not see an outflow or a capital flight leaving that market. But if you look at the equities market, foreign investors' participation has waned over the years. I think it's just about 16% holdings if you look at it. That, for us, I don't think it's going to create any form of panic in that market. So you might not see a significant depreciation of the naira arising from capital flights. The capital flights that will leave this country, I'm sure some of them have left even before now. Some of them are still on the queue waiting for supply from central bank. So by and large, from foreign investors or the foreign community sentiment, the sentiment is weak around election year. However, if you look at the local market is a little less more concerned about where their money should go, or if they should leave their money or take their money out of the country. They are more concerned about who is coming to power. Like I said before, what is the ideology? What is the philosophy of whoever is coming to power? Does the person have a governance acumen or a business acumen? Is the person going to be an expansionary or a contractionary, type government? Those are the kind of questions that we begin to ask ourselves. And until we know who is going to come to power, you might see some investors, both local investors and foreign investors, shying away from either markets.
Okay. Tosi, I will come back to you to interrogate some of the things you have said. After this break, you talked about the language. We'll come to that. You would also be talking about perhaps the ideology or the perception that we're seeing around, especially the top contenders for the job, talking about the presidential election. But let's quickly take this break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the program. Tosi Oshukoya, the Chief Executive Officer at Commercial Partners, is still with me. Tosi, welcome back. Let's talk about the communication. Yes, let's talk about the communication, which is very key. You said it earlier, and I picked on it. What's your view about the communication, the language you've been getting from, at least let's take a look at those that are vying for the top job in the country, the top chief executive officer. I interviewed my guest last Monday, the chief executive officer of Wyoming Capital and Partners, and he mentioned something that struck me. He said, and I quote him, he said, the three top contenders are, market-friendly contender. They are market-friendly. What do you think? Candidates.
Hello, Nancy.
Yes, Tosi, can you hear me? Tosi,
Can you repeat that again?
Okay, I asked about the language. You mentioned communication earlier. What is your view about the communication that you're getting, especially from the top contenders for the topmost job in the country, which is the president? I interviewed my guest last week, the Chief Executive Officer of Wyoming Capital and Partners, and he did say that the top contenders, Labour Party, APC, and PDP, are market-friendly candidates. What do you think? And we shouldn't also forget that we have other presidential candidates too.
Yeah, well, again, like I said to you, that communication is very important, and the manner in which you disseminate those information and the level of credibility that people ascribe to those, information. I think if you look at the three top contenders,